It's a free agency like we've never seen before. Nobody has covered it as well as you have. Or if I just asked a big umbrella question to open, what stands out to you?
Well, the whole thing is very dramatic. I think it's interesting that they got the ankle okayed, I think, in advance on the Twins physical. So he just has the rest of the physical to do as we're on this podcast, and presumably there's nothing wrong with the rest of them. And, you couldn't
only
have
27 more teams to go in case there is.
Yeah, well, you couldn't really have a third full physical and failing. So they had to make sure that he was going to pass. And, this was a team that had him. They know him. He was not out with any ankle concern for the season that he was there. And, maybe the Twins are willing to take a little bit more of a risk. They certainly could do a higher AAV. I mean, Steve Cohen does have some limits. Let's not forget that. There are some limits. The reason the Mets didn't want to do that 33, 34 million a year and wanted to spread it out is because the tax situation. The Mets are in that 90% Steve Cohen tax. And if they gave him a $34 million deal or $33.4 million deal, his tax would have risen even more for the next 6 years. So they wanted to spread it out. And eventually they just weren't able to come to an agreement. The Mets wanted to mitigate the risk. They were the second team to raise a flag over this issue of the ankle. So you can't really blame them. I think they're upset right now. It's not a happy day in Mets land. All would have been fine if they never had come to this agreement, but they got the agreement for 2.5 weeks. The thought was they'd probably be able to work it out. Steve Cohen there is one of the richest men in the country, but even he has some limits, and, you really can't blame him. They're already at $360 million payroll, right? So it's the record payroll, and the tax is going to be around close to $100 million. So can't blame him for being cheap. Can't claim that. But, I think at the end, there is some limit shown.